Shalom, family. This is Wanda. This is Dice for Connect. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, I wanted to discuss some don'ts for African American women or women in the West coming back to Mama Africa. Some don'ts that things you shouldn't do if you're single, specifically single women. Yes, I'm married now, but I was a single woman here for 3.5 years. But some don'ts, some do's and don'ts for those who are single and coming back to Mama Africa to visit, repatriate, to whatever your plans are. Because the reason that I want to do this video is because I've been seeing the 5 or 6 women that died in the Gambia in West Africa, and that's very, very disturbing to me. I'm thinking about, and they were around my age range too. So that's another thing that it touched me deeply, because I'm like, we leave the West to come back for a more productive life. As middle-aged women, and we want to live the rest of our lives out in peace, having land and things that we have dreamed about having in the West, but maybe weren't able to, or we just come back home basically, and then for this to happen, so especially for some of them so soon after they arrived. So some people say it could have been possibly poisoning. Um, I'm I'm looking gearing more to the poisoning part, because there is a lot, which we all know, a lot of witchcraft being done on the continent. It's a lot in the West as well, but it's just different. It's different. So it could have been some type of juju, voodoo, something wicked that transpired there. But I wanted to do a video to try to help give single women or younger, middle age, whatever your age is, an idea of how you should move. Uh, which a lot of people are doing that, but I wanted to put my chime in on that, give my 2 cents on the do's and don'ts for single women. Um, when you decide to come to the continent, to repatriate, to be an expat, repat, there are some do's and don'ts that you should follow as a single person, versus if you have a husband and he's with you. You can let your hair down a little bit more, but as a single person, you have to do things a little bit differently. So I didn't write a list down, and this is not the things I mentioned it's not exhaustive, but these are things off the top of my head that I could think of that helped me. I think about my journey here since I've been here since 2020, July 2020, and it's going on 4 years this year. And I try to think of some things that I practiced, things that I did, things that I wouldn't do. And I wanted to share it with those who are looking to repatriate. If you're single with kids or whatever, even with kids, it's important that you follow some safety guidelines, I would say, that many people maybe didn't tell you about. But now, since all this is happening in the Gambia with our brothers, with our sisters passing away middle age, early, young, and they were healthy, they weren't ill. Just because you're middle age, like I'm a middle age, but I'm healthy, I've never had any health issues. So we can't blame it on because they were middle age. No, something happened to these ladies, because if you look at some of their YouTube channels and their videos, they looked healthy, they sound mind, some of them, the mind was, but for the most part, they looked healthy. Even in the 60s, they looked healthy. So yeah, I just wanted to give some do's and don'ts. But so let's start with as a single woman coming to Mama Africa. And I know we're so excited and we're happy to be around our brothers and sisters, everybody looking like us. Look, I was the same way. But I use wisdom. I had discernment. So those are 2 things that you must exercise. If you have not practiced where you are right now, learning to have discernment, praying for discernment. I don't know what your spiritual practice is. Hopefully you believe in the uncreated creator. And then that's, he will protect you, or you actually ask him to give you discernment, sharpen your discernment, lead and guide you. You ask the set apart spirit, the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, whatever you call the set apart spirit. You can ask the set apart spirit to lead and guide you in all truths and everything that you plan on doing, to lead and guide your steps, and ask the Father to have his way and that his will be done in your life on earth as it is in heaven. So just make sure you pray if you have that belief, if you believe in the uncreated creator. Now, if you don't, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you outside of that, but whatever you, yeah, I'm coming from a perspective in those who believe in Abba Father, the Almighty, the uncreated creator. So yes, pray, of course, and get direction as to which country that you should come to. That's the first thing, because if you're out of line or not doing things in the flesh or doing things that on your own, then it could be more difficult for you, and you could be at risk because you're not moving the way that the Father is telling you to move. You're not seeking his guidance to find out, should I go to this country? There are 54 countries on the continent. And so you want to make sure you pray, or you have, some idea of, the level of security in that country. Consult with people who are there. If you are a diaspora throughout the four corners of the earth and you're coming back, it's best to connect with other repats or expats in that country, just so they can give you some pointers on what to do, what not to do, etc. Of course, you have your own guidelines of do's and don'ts, but it will help if those who live in that country can tell you from experience, don't go to that restaurant, or don't go down that street by yourself, or this, they can give you advice like I do. I give women advice when they move by themselves, and with kids, I give them advice based on what I do. So for me, as a single woman, when I came here, I hardly traveled at night. I hardly traveled at night. So I tried to travel during the day. I tried to go places during the day. So, and for me, I was new to this country. I didn't know the language at first. So what I did was I booked a hotel. I usually recommend those who are coming here to just go ahead and book a hotel, because you don't know the language. If you get an Airbnb, and they are nice and reasonable priced, but they don't have food there all the time. And, if you need to go out and go get food and all that, it's going to be kind of difficult if you don't know the language. If you're in certain areas, a lot of people like certain areas like Masaki here. It's an international area. Mississani, Oyster Bay, even in Bessie Beach area, you can. It's kind of like international people are there. So a lot of those people know English. So not with that fluently so much, but they know enough to help you. But as you move out away from those areas, people know less. The further you move out of the city, the less people know English. So you have to take that into consideration when you're coming to a country, especially Tanzania, but other countries that speak English, that might be different. But here, yeah, you need to be somewhere. If you're first coming here as a single woman, or a woman with kids, single woman with kids, or just single by yourself, solo traveler, you need to take a couple of precautions. So I usually recommend women to get a hotel for like the first week. Now, if you want to look for Airbnb, or if you want to look for an apartment, then you can still do that. But start off in a hotel where they have everything that you're accustomed to, like air conditioning. They have hot water and stuff like that, stuff you're used to. So, when you first get here that first week, you're tired, you've been traveling for 2 days or whatever. So you need rest, you need food. A lot of the hotels, they have room service, so you don't have to go out if you don't need to. And, the hotels usually know a little English. So as a single woman, coming to the continent, specifically Tanzania, I would recommend get a hotel for like a week before you find, like if you want to find an Airbnb, you can do that. Now, if you know someone and they can refer you somewhere, then that's a little bit different. If you know a diaspora, expat, repat that already is in this country and they refer you somewhere, 9 times out of 10, those people have they're used to us, English speaking diaspora, Black Americans or Black British or Afro, those of African, they're used to us, so they're going to refer you somewhere good. But until if you don't know of a place, I wouldn't recommend you go online and just book a Airbnb because it's cheap. Because you can be out too far. You can be out places where drivers won't come pick you up. You can be out in places where it's a high poverty level, and then you going out there and you can't speak the language, and then they hear you struggling to speak, then you could become like a target. So the aim is to put you in a place where you're not like a target, or have you stay somewhere where you're not a target per se. So, and at the mercy of, like, you don't have any security or anybody around. Now, Masaki is a good first area for people to stay in because they have embassies around and there's security all around the embassies. Masaki, Oyster Bay, Mississani, even Mikocheni. So those are good areas to stay in when you first come here. But so, hotel for like a week at least until you can find an Airbnb that you can go visit. If you look for an Airbnb, it's ideal to find it when you're here so you can go look at it and see the area. You see, the people in the area. Maybe you have some restaurants closed, so you have some fruit stands closed. You want to physically go and see where it's located and make sure it's not too far out from the city, because you'll be by yourself. And anything can happen with your phone. Sometimes we have power outs or lights out. I mean, electricity goes off. It's a power outage. So if your phone is not charged and you don't have a battery pack or something like that, or even sometimes I have a battery pack, a backup pack, but sometimes it dies as well because I've been using it. So you'll be close to civilization. You'll be close to places where you can walk to a cafe and charge your phone. You can go to a cafe and get some food, or charge your phone or whatever. So you want to be close to areas where you can get places where if you can walk there, or it's close to where you are, where you can get a driver. You definitely want to stay in a place where you can get, where drivers come, like Ubers. Bolt is like Uber, where they come and they'll pick you up, because there are some Airbnbs that are so far out that the drivers won't come and get you. And just because it's cheap, that does not mean it's the best place that is safe enough for you and has everything that you need as a foreign person that does not speak the local language. So keep that in mind. Excuse me. So hotel, make sure you stay somewhere. And if you get an Airbnb, make sure you stay somewhere around the kind of close to the city area. If you are planning on repatriating, you can always move out. You don't have to stay there forever. You can, get a hotel for a week. Even if you want an Airbnb, get one for a month or whatever. Then you can move and find a place or whatever and move. But those are some security precautions. Hotel, stay somewhere kind of close to the city, not too far out. Also, for women, it's ideal, unless you live in the city like Masaki, Oyster Bay, Mississani, or Mikocheni, those areas are close to a lot of stuff. Then maybe you can, go out at night, especially if you're in a hotel, it's fine. But still keep that in mind if you're going out at night, because at night it's a different vibe than during the day. At night it's a different atmosphere here than during the day. It's just different, and people act a little bit different at night than they do during the day. So I noticed that. So for me as a single woman, I wouldn't go out at night a whole lot. I would try to be in the house before dark. Now, if I'm hanging out with some repats or some expats, we all go there, we meet, and then we all leave. And you can also, on your Uber, you can send your location to a friend. So if you have a girlfriend, or, here, me or somebody, if you're by yourself, you can actually share your location with me. If you're riding to your hotel or you're riding to your Airbnb and you're by yourself, if you don't feel comfortable, that somebody showed me how to do that when I first got here. So I would share my location with the girlfriend that I had. So when I got home, she saw that I got home. So if something were to happen, she would be able to track my location. So that is another safety precaution that you can take as a single female coming to Africa, and specifically Tanzania, or a single woman with children. There are certain things that you can do to safeguard yourself with the Uber app, sharing your location with a repat that you meet. So always connect with a repat that is in that country. If you're coming from the West somewhere, I would say email, reach out to a couple of, diaspora that's in that country so you can meet with them and they can meet with you. You can exchange numbers and look out for one another in that way. Say, I have to catch this Uber by myself. I don't speak Swahili because some of the drivers don't speak English. Some of the Uber drivers, boat drivers, they don't speak English. So so sometimes you may get one and they don't know English at all. So you, it's good to share your location and then make sure you can talk on your phone. So you need a SIM card because if they don't know how to get to where you're going, they may ask you in Swahili, which they have done to me. And then I'm like, I don't know. But if you have Google Maps, so have Google Maps on your phone, you can pull up the address of where you're going, the hotel, and show him and let it speak to him. Turn left here, turn right. So you can, and even though they don't understand English, you can tell them turn left, turn right, or you can find out how to say, going straight is moja kwa moja. You can say right, that's kulia, and left, kushoto. So if you learn those front, left, and right, then you'll be able to give them directions in Swahili. But if not, you can just point like left, right, whatever, straight. So Google Maps, you need the Translate app on your phone in case you need to try to speak and they don't understand you and you don't understand them. You can type it in your Translate app and you can either let them read it or you can push play and it'll read the Swahili to them. So those are good things to help as a kind of like to help you out, assist you, kind of like a safety precaution. So make sure you have your Uber app or your Bolt app for transportations. And you make sure you connect with diaspora expat repats in that country to where, if you're by yourself, they can kind of follow, because like for me, I've been here for a while. So if you were to come here and you're a single woman, and you reach out to me, connect with me, I can make sure that, you get all the safety precautions things that'll safeguard your visit here. So, or you can connect with me and be like, I'm riding in this Uber Bajaji. Can I share my location? Of course, you can share it to my phone, and then I'll watch you ride all the way until you arrive to your destination. Now, if I'm watching it and I'm seeing you going off, then I can start. It's something I can do about it. I will know where you are. Somebody will know where you are. The point is, if you're here on the continent and you're by yourself, don't have any family here or anyone else, you should always connect with someone from the diaspora. Somebody, because they need to know what's going on with you, especially you have family back in the West. And if they don't hear from you, they're going to be panicking and they're all the way over there and you're all the way over, and it's going to be harder for them to track you down if they don't know anybody. So make sure that you, as a safety precaution, as a single woman or a single parent, you go ahead and connect with a repat that is, or expat that lives in that country. So I'm thinking as I talk about certain things that I would do. So also, like I said, traveling during the day, if you need to get things like going grocery shopping or especially if you're in an Airbnb, if you're in a hotel, it's a little bit more here or there, but I wouldn't make it a habit. I would not make it a habit of traveling at night a lot because you're by yourself. And sometimes even if you're in a hotel or whatever, certain people will see you regularly. So they'll see you a lot and then they'll kind of see that you're by yourself. And so you don't want to become like a target. And I'm not trying to like scare you or anything, but I'm just saying don't want to be like a target or opportunity or anything like that. So try to travel during the day if you can, especially if you're going grocery shopping and you've got the kids and you're not really able to pay attention. If you're by yourself, try to do more traveling at night. If you hang out at night with expats or repats or whatever, then it's a group where you guys make sure you share your location when you leave. It's good to connect with someone and have a personal driver. So when you get here, you may be riding Uber or Bolt, and then you get a driver that is car is nice and clean. He's really nice and kind, and you sense the vibe about him that he's trustworthy. Then you can like exchange numbers with him and ask him, can I call you sometimes if I need a ride, to the grocery store or whatever? And a lot of times they'll say yes, but it's good if you have like a designated driver. That's also a safety advantage, because they know where you live, they know you, and it's just one person. It's not like every time you call for a driver, different people are coming to pick you up, so everybody knows who you are and where you're at. So yeah, if you can try to get, like, if you can. Now, if you haven't been able to do that, that's fine. You can still call drivers for a car, a bajaji, or whatever. So, what else? So, try to stick with doing things during the day as a single woman. And even where you stay in your Airbnb, make sure it's close to the city until you get acclimated to that city, learn the language and all that stuff. And even then, it's like you really don't want to be, if you're a single woman, you really don't want to be so far out by yourself. It's not the safest thing. And we have women here that have done that in Tanzania and Dar and different places. I mean, Tanzania, Arusha, and different places. So we have had ladies to do that, but it's ideally not the safest thing to do. You want to stay, if you're by yourself and you don't have a husband, you want to stay close to the city area, because don't forget, men are watching too. So, what else? So you want to, if you're a single woman, you want to be wise in who you decide that you want to date, talk to, hang out with. You want to be careful because, I mean, I'm just saying, you could be an opportunity. It hits English, they think you're rich, and you can be an opportunity in that you can be set up. Somebody can invite you somewhere, and then you go somewhere and by yourself, and it could be other men, or you just don't know. So just be careful. And if you are deciding that you want to meet someone or mingle with someone and get to know someone, you tell them where to meet you, and never meet them at your house. Never meet them at your hotel room. Never meet them at your Airbnb. Meet them in like a cafe or a restaurant. Meet them in like a public place. So you can sense the vibe. You're around a lot of people. And then for me, I would recommend not necessarily at a local spot. You can, but being new here, you don't know the language that well, I would recommend you meet them somewhere like an international restaurant, like somewhere international where you have other people that speak English. So in case something happens, people around understand what you're saying. So what else? So that, and use discernment on who you deal with, who you go out with, who you hang out with, who you do business with. If you want to do business, if you create a business, who you partner with, just use discernment in dealing with any of the, not only the locals, but even some of the diaspora. You have to use discernment as well, because some of us can be kind of, some of us, we broke into, we need healing too. So just use discernment in who you get close to, which sisters that you want to get close to. Make sure you use discernment, because some of us can be a little with the jealousy and the whole situation. So just be very careful and prayerful about who you get close to. I've experienced some things like that, but I learned. But yeah, so what else? So use discernment. If you have a feeling or a vibe, if you ride with a local, or if you're at a restaurant, or if you're talking to somebody and you start feeling something weird in your spirit, don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. That's a warning. So always be highly sensitive to your feeling. Some people say your intuition, but it's your spirit. So don't ignore it. If you feel some kind of way and you don't know why, just believe it and just move on. Get yourself out of that situation, whether it's diaspora or local. Don't ignore your intuition, because sometimes it warns us before things happen. And then let me see what else. Yeah, be careful who you trust. Be careful who you just ride with, and unless Uber, that's different. You putting that, you have a tracking on your phone where you're going. But just strange men and stuff, be careful with that. Going over strange men's house and all that, going places they invite you. I would say don't even do that. Let them meet you somewhere publicly. Let them meet you somewhere like a cafe or a restaurant. Not over your house, not over his house, not in no little private hole in the wall, some city out far. No, 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 no. Don't do that for safety reasons as a single woman. What else? And your food, what you eat. Don't eat everybody's food. So I'm really strict about that, and it has helped me. I've been here 4 years, and I haven't really been sick with like food issues. But if you're gonna eat food outside, if you're going to eat food on the street, only eat meat that's cooked on the grill, that you see them cooking it. So, for example, if you're really hungry and there's no restaurants around right now, and you see a local restaurant, they have a grill and they're cooking beef on a stick. We call it beef miskaki, beef on a stick, like a kebab, beef on a stick, or some chicken, whatever you like, but it's on the grill. That's safe to eat because they're cooking it on the grill. Anything else I want to eat. French fries, possibly, but I don't like French fries sitting out and getting soggy. Sometimes they have them sitting out. But fruits, I want to eat any fruits that's been sitting out. I want to eat any salad that's been sitting out. You can eat beans and greens and ugali. It's like grits. It's meal and it's a thick. That's one of their local dishes, and a lot of people like it. It tastes like grits, and you pick it up and you just eat it with your hands. You can eat that and meat, greens and beans. Cook food, but don't eat any salads. Don't eat any fruits because that can make you sick. And also just be mindful where you eat. Look around at the place. Just don't eat anywhere. If you're really hungry, meat on the stick on a grill, that's pretty okay, even if the place is not the best. But they're cooking that, so you can go ahead and eat that real quick just to hold you until you can go somewhere and get some food. Try your best as a single woman to cook at home or if you're at a hotel, eat at your hotel if you can. Just for safety precautions. And if you have an Airbnb and you have a house, try to cook more often instead of eating local food. Cook your own food. Cook your own food. It's just for safety precautions because that is your food, and you don't know what people. I'm just saying, you don't know what people doing to your food, especially some of the local restaurants. To each his own, but people washing dishes on the ground in pots, washing dishes, and I don't prefer to eat in restaurants where I see them washing dishes in pots on the ground. That's just not a place that I would eat, but that's just me. Some people they'll be all right with that. No, I like to see that they have a kitchen and I don't see them washing dishes. So it depends, but just use this discernment and use wisdom in where you eat, just to make sure you don't have any issues. Because people do things to food on the continent, they really do. And be careful who you take stuff from. Don't be so quick to take gifts from people, foods and all that stuff. Don't take foods from people if you can help it. In a diaspora, it's a little bit different because we come from the same place, and we might make something, and people might be like, make me greens or whatever. They, one of us, it's a little bit different, but still use discernment on that. But because a lot of times we'll have potlucks and stuff like that, and everybody brings dishes, or they may bake something, and you say, oh, bring me cornbread or whatever. So something like that is okay, but just be careful of the food that you take and eat from people when they try to give you food. Just be careful with that, because the ladies in the Gambia were saying, some people were saying that maybe they were poisoned, and then one of the ladies, I watched a couple of their videos, one lady was saying something about some food. So just be careful of the food that you eat, especially when it comes from local restaurants and people give it to you because they do different things. But not just be extra safe than sorry. Okay, be extra safe, and you do have to do that on the continent because it's not like the West. It's a little bit different. And I think this will be the final precaution because I can't think of any more right now. I touched on, yeah. So this is the final one. Having a helper in your house. Be very careful. If you are a single woman or you have a woman with kids, you may want a dada, a sister, to help you around the house. Be very careful with that. Be very careful with that. For me, I have been here, the whole time I've been here, I've done my own stuff. I never had a helper. Now, I lived with a lady, the first 6 months when I got here in Tanzania in 2020. I lived with a Jamaican couple, and they had a Dada sister that cleaned their house. And I lived there, but I told them I didn't want her cleaning my room. So she wouldn't come in my room. I clean my own room and my own bathroom. I don't like people touching my stuff. So that's just, I'm particular about my own stuff. And I don't trust people to have people all in my stuff. And then also, she cooked food for them. She didn't cook for me. I would eat out, or I would cook my own food, cut my own food. Like, I don't like people messing with my food. So I'm just real particular like that. Everybody's not like that. But if you are okay with having a helper in your house as a single woman, or you're a woman with kids, be very careful what you have cooking for you, washing your clothes, cleaning your house, all in your stuff. Be very mindful and careful. And if you could do it yourself, we do it in the West, y'all. If you could do it yourself, that would be fine. Now, if you have kids, that's a little bit different, because a lot of times, you may be working online, or you may have things you need to do, and you may have a couple of children. So you may need a helper, but just watch that person and don't get so comfortable with, just be prayerful and mindful, and watch people around in your personal space, cooking for you and washing you and your husband's clothes, or washing your clothes, your children's. Just be very careful, because you don't know what kind of feeling they got towards you, if they're jealous, or trying to hurt you or harm you or steal from you. You don't know. Believe me, everybody's nice, so you can't always tell. So it's better safe than sorry. Just do your own stuff if you can. Now, if you really need a helper for your kids, that's okay. You can get them to come in and help your kids. Make sure you kind of keep an eye out. Don't just have this person running amok in your house and you don't know what they're doing. So, yeah, but I think that might be it. And I think I mentioned business. When you're doing business, you got to be, use discernment in who you partner with. And even when you create a business and you partner with a local or whatever, if you decide to do that, make sure that you always go with them when it comes to spending money. When it comes to if you have to buy certain things. Now, sometimes you could give them money and send them off for small stuff, but major purchases like cars and washing machines and equipments and stuff, you really need to go. Even if you don't say anything, because you may not get the best price if you speak, but you need to be there to see the transaction. You need to see everything that's going on, especially if it's your money. You need to be there, right? So these are just some things that I could offer, some information and some do's and don'ts for those middle-aged women, or any single African-American or African diaspora people throughout the four corners of the earth, and you want to come back to Africa, specifically Tanzania, or any this could apply for any other country. These are some tips that you can follow, because my heart is hurting about the 5 or 6 women that died in the Gambia, and people were mentioning this is possibly poisoning, and it's a possibility they do stuff like that on the continent. So you got to be very careful, even with robberies and stuff. That has happened. It happened to me. I got robbed before. If you go back and look at my video where I got robbed, I told the story. So, and they did spray something in my apartment. My window was open, and I was told by a local that they have this like straw. They get it from the witch doctor. It's like a straw, and they blow. It's like chlorophyll. Makes you sleep. So if you're already sleeping, it just makes you sleep deeper. So they do that. So that can happen as well when you're by yourself out too far. For me, I actually left my patio door unlocked. I forgot to lock it. So they just came on in. I let them in. But they still had me knocked out, because I'm a sound sleeper. I would have heard 3 doors opening, y'all. So, yeah. But all praises to the Most High, the Almighty. He kept me. Nobody touched me, did anything to me. They took my stuff, and they invaded my privacy. So I felt, how you feel when you feel like somebody's watching you and you sleep. I'm laying there, sleep naked or whatever, and people watching me. So yeah, that was a bad. I had PTSD about that for a minute, but I got over that. But I started using wisdom and making sure I check everything before I went to sleep. And we all have to do that. Sometimes I know it's hot, but sometimes you may have to close your windows. And I'm starting to do that now. I close my windows when I sleep, because I don't want nobody blowing nothing in there when I'm asleep. So it's hot, because I don't have an air con in my place right now. I have just fans. So yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to share this with you guys. My heart goes out to all those ladies, 5 or 6 ladies that have passed away in the Gambia, and it just did something to me, y'all, because they were around my age, and I know how I feel trying to leave. So excited about coming back to Africa, leaving the West. Some of them bought land. They was doing land projects and building a house and doing business, and then they're going just like that. So it's so sad. But we just have to be prayerful and careful and use wisdom and discernment. Okay, so I just wanted to do this video and just share my maybe some do's and don'ts and little pointers to help our brothers or sisters specifically that come here as single women looking to meet a husband. And so, yeah, but thank you for tuning in. This is Diaspora Connect. Oh, thank you to all my faithful subscribers. Thank you to my new subscribers. I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for taking the time to view my content and my video. Do me a favor, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thumbs up. And share my video with anyone that you know that may want to visit Tanzania and or may want to repatriate or something like that in their middle age, even younger, anyone you know, and these tips or pointers or this information will be helpful for them. Please do share it. And I am also working on a land and building project, so I'll keep you posted on that. I'll give you more details. Okay, but thank you so much. And I have Cash App and PayPal. If you want to make a donation to me, I'll put my information in the description box and help me with my journey here in Africa, with my project. Yes, if you want to bless your sister, I take donations. All right. So thank you so much. And I will see you in the next video. Maybe it'll be a live. I don't know. Maybe I'll do another video. But yeah, I just wanted to come to you because this was like weighing on my heart for the last 3 days, y'all. I've been watching videos of these ladies over, and I'm like, they had so much life. They didn't look sickly. So something happened to these ladies like me. I'm not sickly. Even though I'm in my 50s, I'm not sickly. There's nothing wrong with me. So something happens to me, I'm not sickly. And they weren't sickly. So it just disturbs me because they were full of life and their lives were valuable and they were important individuals, and they just gone just like that. And it's so disturbing, y'all. So yeah, let's just keep each other lifted in prayer. And if we see diaspora that come and maybe they're single, they have kids, let's just kind of reach out to them and look out for them. I've been trying to do that, which I had a room that I was renting, but now I'm married and everything. So, but I can still keep an eye out on you. You can connect with me if that's what you want to do, if you're by yourself. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I'm going to